The gravy spoon slips from my fingers, striking the ceramic floor of my parents' beach house kitchen with a sharp clatter. Thick brown gravy splashes across my apron in uneven patterns, spreading like an abstract map of everything my family refuses to see. From the dining room, barely 15 feet away yet feeling worlds apart, the sound of clinking glasses and cheerful laughter floats toward me. They began without me. I remain motionless, listening to the steady hum of conversation echoing over the gleaming marble countertops. Mom had promised we would all sit down together once everything was ready. That promise had dissolved the moment Adrian's Tesla rolled into the driveway 2 hours earlier, his designer luggage and effortless charm instantly capturing all of my parents' attention. To Adrian, my father's booming voice carries from the dining room, for bringing this family together on Thanksgiving. The words slice through me with surgical precision. I've been here since Tuesday, preparing every element of this meal, chopping vegetables until my hands cramped, seasoning dishes to perfection, carefully basting the turkey while Adrian arrived moments before dinner with nothing but a bottle of wine he likely received as a corporate gift. I crouched to wipe the spilled gravy, my knees pressing painfully into the hard tile. From this position, I can see into the dining room through the doorway. Mom fusses over Adrian's collar like he's royalty. Dad refills his glass with expensive wine. Aunt Sarah leans forward eagerly, hanging on every word of his latest career triumph. Not one person notices that I'm missing. 3 weeks earlier, Mom had initiated the family group chat with her usual enthusiasm. Thanksgiving planning. We'll cook whatever Adrian prefers this year since he's been so busy with his new position. I had suggested something different. Maybe we could try the new restaurant overlooking the bay, give everyone a break from cooking. Her response had been immediate. Traditions matter, dear. Besides, you're so talented in the kitchen. Which really meant you're so useful in the kitchen. I reach for a clean dish towel and wipe my hands slowly. The trembling in my fingers has finally subsided. Something inside me shifts, deep and unsettling, like the slow grinding of tectonic plates before a rupture. I lift the heavy silver gravy boat filled with the sauce I spent hours perfecting. The serving piece once belonged to my grandmother, who likely stood in kitchens just like this, dedicating her labor to people who never questioned whether she deserved recognition. When I step into the dining room, I place the gravy boat firmly at the center of the table. Its weight produces a solid thunk against the pristine white tablecloth. 5 faces glance up briefly, then immediately return their focus to Adrian, who continues describing a golf outing with a potential client. "Honey," Mom says absently without looking at me, "could you get some more ice for Adrian's drink?" The request hangs heavily in the air. 2 full days of cooking, endless preparation, and Adrian has done nothing. No. The word escapes before I can restrain it. A single syllable, but it lands like shattered glass. Conversation halts. Adrian freezes mid-sentence. Mom blinks in disbelief, her carefully maintained smile faltering. "I'm sorry?" I said no. My voice feels unfamiliar, steadier than the storm raging inside me. Dad's expression darkens as he places his fork down deliberately. "Your brother drove all the way from Tampa." 2 hours, I replied quietly. "He drove 2 hours. I've been cooking for 2 days. Silence stretches between us, thick with the unspoken rules I've just violated. My heart pounds violently. This tiny act of resistance threatens everything, the fragile belonging I've spent 35 years trying to secure. Mom forces a nervous laugh, smoothing her napkin. Marin's just tired from cooking all day. She turns back to Adrian. "The turkey is exceptional this year, don't you think?" And just like that, the moment dissolves. Conversation flows around me as though I am invisible. Adrian resumes his story without hesitation. But something within me has changed. For the first time, I have resisted the current instead of surrendering to it. My refusal still reverberates in my ears as I take a seat at the table, no longer rushing to serve, no longer retreating into the kitchen, no longer fading into the background of my own existence. I pour myself a full glass of wine. When I glance up, Aunt Rachel meets my gaze from across the table and offers the faintest nod of approval. I take a long sip, warmth spreading through my chest. This Thanksgiving has become something entirely different. The half-eaten turkey remains on the table as I slip back into the kitchen, my legs carrying me away from laughter that excludes me. I need space to breathe, to process what just happened. That single word "no" continues to pulse through my veins like an electric current. Mom's iPad lies open on the granite counter, her Facebook page illuminated with notifications. I hesitate. I've never invaded her privacy before, yet something compels me forward. The most recent post steals the air from my lungs. Excited for Adrian's special Thanksgiving menu. Can't wait to taste what my talented son suggested for our family gathering. My talented son. No mention of who bought the ingredients, prepared the dishes, or rose before dawn to cook the turkey. I scroll further. Birthday celebrations, Easter gatherings, Christmas mornings, endless photos of Adrian smiling beside mom and dad. Occasionally, I glimpse myself only partially visible, an arm carrying plates, the back of my head as I clean up. Not one photo centers on me. The kitchen feels suffocating, the walls closing in as decades of invisibility solidify into undeniable truth. "Marin, where's the pumpkin pie?" Mom calls. I close the iPad and prepare the desserts, my hands trembling as I arrange them. Returning to the dining room, I find everyone comfortably seated while I stand holding the knife. "Just place them on the sideboard, honey," Mom instructs. "You can serve from there." I comply, slicing pie as conversation swirls around me. "Adrian, tell them about your new place," Mom prompts. He leans back confidently. "Just closed last week. A perfect beach house in Siesta Key." "We should visit," Dad says warmly, "like our Key West trip last spring." The knife nearly slips. "What Key West trip?" An awkward silence follows, but Mom laughs lightly. "It was a quick getaway. You were so busy with work." "I was never invited." The words fall heavily. Adrian shifts uneasily, but Aunt Sarah changes the subject, announcing that Adrian should inherit Grandma's china cabinet. "The cabinet I've admired since childhood." "We want these things to stay in the family," she says, as though I don't belong. Dad adds that Adrian needs it more, mentioning their assistance with their down payment. The same parents who criticized me for buying my modest condo without their help had financed his luxury home. I continue serving mechanically while they discuss Adrian's promotion, his hobbies, his new boat. Gradually, the truth settles into my bones. My value lies only in service. If I stopped serving, would I vanish entirely? Would anyone notice? "Would anyone like coffee?" I ask. "That would be lovely, dear," Mom replies. "And bring more napkins. Adrian spilled some gravy." I turn away, fighting tears. As I pass Aunt Rachel, she squeezes my hand under the table. "I see you," she whispers. That simple acknowledgement nearly shatters me. Standing in the kitchen, watching my family enjoy the feast I created, a question rises within me. Should I maintain peace by accepting my role, or risk everything by demanding respect? What would you do when the family you love doesn't seem to value you in return? The coffee pot hisses. I arrange the cups carefully and prepare to serve them again. Yet something fundamental has shifted. A quiet resistance has taken root. Weeks later, my phone vibrates with a group message. Mom announces that Adrian will host Christmas at his new beach house. Moments later comes the expected instruction. "Marin, I've made a list of your dishes." A detailed assignment of labor follows, as well as a request that I arrive early to help because Adrian has an important client breakfast. Not a request, a command. At work, my focus deteriorates. Deadlines slip, sleep eludes me. At 3 a.m, I stare at a notebook labeled "Things I Want," unable to answer the question. What do I want? The next day, I assert myself at work, taking time off without apology. I accept an invitation from colleagues to attend a holiday gathering, experiencing simple joy for the first time in weeks. Sunday evening, Mom calls to confirm Christmas plans. I answer calmly. "I'm busy too," I tell her. "I have my own life and career." Silence follows. "This is Christmas, Marin. Family comes first." Does it? Because it seems like Adrian comes first and I'm expected to serve him. Her shocked gasp crackles through the line. "That's not fair. He works so hard." "So do I." The words burst from me with unexpected force. "I work hard too, Mom, but no one in this family has ever acknowledged that. No one has ever asked what I need or want. It's always about making things perfect for Adrian." "I don't understand where this is coming from," she says, her voice quavering. "We've always been a close family." The truth lands in my chest with stunning clarity. I don't need their approval to be worthy. I never did. All these years of contorting myself to earn love that should have been freely given, what a waste. "I'll think about Christmas," I say calmly. "I'll let you know what I decide." I end the call before she can respond. The following week at work, something strange happens. Jessica stops by my desk with coffee. "Thought you might need this," she says, placing it beside my keyboard. No expectations, just kindness. At lunch, my colleagues ask about my holiday plans. When I mention the uncertainty around family Christmas, Dave from IT immediately offers, "A bunch of us are having an orphan Christmas if you want to join. Potluck style. Everyone brings something they actually enjoy making." The contrast staggers me. These people, some I barely know beyond professional courtesy, asking what I want rather than telling me what they expect me to give. "Thanks," I say, standing a little straighter. "I might take you up on that." That evening, I open my laptop and begin drafting an email to my family. The words flow with surprising ease. "Dear Mom, Dad, and Adrian," I type. "I've given a lot of thought to Christmas this year. I've decided not to attend the gathering at Adrian's beach house." I explain my feelings without accusation, simply stating facts. Years of unbalanced expectations, the toll on my health and career, my need to create boundaries that honor my worth. An hour later, my phone rings. Aunt Rachel's name appears on the screen. "Your mother called me," she says without preamble. "She's quite upset." My heart sinks. "I'm sorry if she dragged you into this." "Don't be," Aunt Rachel's voice softens. "I wanted you to know that whatever you decide about Christmas, I support you. It's long overdue, Marin." Tears spring to my eyes at this unexpected alliance. "Thank you," I whisper. After we hang up, I return to my laptop. Yet my phone lights up again, Mom calling. I take a deep breath and decide. I take 3 deep breaths before answering, exactly as Jessica advised during our lunch yesterday. "Hello, Mom." My voice comes out steady, a stark contrast to the nervous tremor that usually accompanies these calls. "Marin, we need to discuss Christmas arrangements." She launches in without preamble. "Adrian wants to know which dishes you're bringing. He's planning the table settings." I press my palm flat against the cool granite of my kitchen counter. I won't be coming to Adrian's for Christmas. The silence that follows stretches so long I check my screen to ensure we haven't disconnected. "That's ridiculous." Her voice returned, higher pitched than before. "Of course you're coming. Your brother has a brand new house to show everyone. I've made other plans." I maintain eye contact with my reflection in the microwave door, refusing to look away from myself. What other plans could possibly be more important than family? The familiar, dismissive tone creeps in. My plans are important because they're mine. Each word comes out distinct, like stepping stones across a rushing stream. I've spent every holiday cooking, serving, and cleaning while everyone else enjoys themselves, including Thanksgiving last month when you all started eating without me. You're being overly sensitive. I cooked for 2 days straight. Dad toasted Adrian for bringing the family together while I was still in the kitchen. You promised we'd all sit down together. For the first time in our decades of conversations, Mother has no immediate retort. The silence carries weight. "Well," she finally manages, "I'm sorry if you felt unappreciated." I didn't feel unappreciated. I was unappreciated. The distinction matters. I'm making different choices this year. I'm making different choices this year. You'll break your father's heart. Her voice wavers with practiced fragility. He's been telling everyone how proud he is of his children. I almost laugh. When did Dad last tell me he was proud of me? He didn't even acknowledge my promotion last spring. That's not fair. She stops abruptly. What? He's not good with words, she offers weakly. Not like Adrian. Adrian is good with words because you and Dad hang on every one of them. You've spent my entire life treating him like the star of the show while I work backstage. Her breathing changes. I suppose we've taken you for granted. The admission, however small, stuns me into momentary silence. My prepared arguments dissolve as unexpected tears prick my eyes. "What would it take to fix things?" she asks. When Mom asked what it would take to fix things, I hesitated. Should I give them another chance to change patterns built over decades? Or was it time to prioritize my own well-being, even if it meant spending holidays apart? I hang up without answering, promising to think about it. Jessica arrives at my condo an hour later with takeout and her laptop. "Operation Freedom Christmas is underway," she announces, setting containers of pad thai on my coffee table. "You're ridiculous," I say, but the knot in my chest loosens for the first time in days. "Look at these options." She flips open her laptop, displaying a booking site. Key West has vacancies at that boutique hotel we've been eyeing. Christmas on the beach instead of Christmas in servitude. I stare at the images of turquoise waters and swaying palms. My family would never understand. That's kind of the point, Jessica scrolls through room options. Your happiness isn't contingent on their understanding. My phone buzzes with Aunt Rachel's name. "Speaking of family," I murmur, answering the call, "I heard you're skipping Adrian's Christmas extravaganza." Rachel's voice carried none of my mother's accusation. News travels fast. "Your mother called in reinforcements. She wanted me to talk some sense into you." My stomach tightens. "And?" "I told her I'm visiting you in Orlando instead." The smile in her voice is unmistakable. "I've had enough of Adrian's show-off mansion and your parents fawning. If you'll have me, of course." Tears well up again, but different from before. "Really? Really? We can start our own traditions, ones where nobody spends the entire day in the kitchen while others take credit." After we hang up, I book the Key West reservation for the days after Rachel's visit. For the first time, the holidays stretch before me like an open road, rather than a predetermined path. My phone rings again that evening. Dad's name flashes on the screen. He hasn't called me directly in at least 3 years. "Marin," he says when he answers, his voice uncharacteristically hesitant. "Your mother mentioned you might not be joining us for Christmas." Before I can respond, a text from Adrian lights up my screen. "Are you really not coming to my new place for Christmas?" "I've made other plans," I tell Dad, watching another text bubble appear from Adrian. "I see." The uncertainty in his voice is new territory for both of us. "Perhaps we could discuss this further. Your mother was hoping you might meet her for coffee next week." I consider the request, turning it over like a strange artifact from another time. "I'll think about it." After we hang up, I read Adrian's second text. "Mom's really upset. Can't you just come for one day?" Standing in my quiet kitchen, I realize I'm smiling. Not from cruelty or vengeance, but from the strange weightlessness of finally being seen. They've noticed my absence. It's a start. Next week Wednesday, the holiday music floating through Sunflower Cafe feels like an ironic soundtrack to the tension unfolding at our corner table. Mother sits across from me, her hands clasped around a mug of peppermint mocha she hasn't touched. Between them lies the worn leather photo album she brought, a tactical prop in her arsenal of manipulation. "Your brother needs you, Marin," she says, flipping to a page with Adrian's kindergarten graduation photo. "This isn't just about Christmas dinner. It's about family obligations." I watch her manicured finger trace the outline of Adrian's 5-year-old face, while completely skipping over my photo beside him. Even in reminiscing, I remain invisible. Adrian has important clients coming.
He wants to impress them with a traditional family Christmas. Her voice drops to a confidential whisper. He specifically asked for your cranberry relish recipe. Not for me, for my recipe. You know your father and I won't be around forever. Her voice wavers with practiced emotion. Are you really willing to throw away your family over petty jealousy? The words land exactly as she intended, like a punch to the stomach. For a moment, I feel the familiar guilt rising in my throat, but then I notice her eyes darting to check if her performance is having the desired effect. I reach into my bag and pull out my own folder. I brought something too, I say, my voice steadier than I expected. I place 2 family photos side by side. The first shows last Easter's gathering, Adrian centrally positioned between our parents, while I'm barely visible at the edge, carrying a tray of deviled eggs. The second from Thanksgiving shows a similar composition, Adrian raising a glass and toast while I stand in the background, refilling water glasses. 6 holidays in a row where I cooked every dish, I continue, sliding forward a handwritten list. 32 family gatherings where I arrived hours early to set up and stayed hours after to clean. 4 birthdays of mine that were rescheduled because they conflicted with Adrian's plans. Mother's face tightens. "We appreciate everything you do." "You appreciate everything I provide," I correct her. "There's a difference." I top the list with my index finger. "When was the last time anyone took a photo of me enjoying a holiday meal? When did anyone offer to help me in the kitchen? When did my birthday get the same attention as Adrian's job promotion?" She shifts uncomfortably, glancing around as if searching for witnesses to my rebellion. "I'm not throwing away family, Mom," I say, my voice softening but not weakening. "I'm refusing to be the servant." Her mouth opens, then closes. For perhaps the first time in my adult life, my mother has no ready response. The holiday decorations surrounding us, twinkling lights and paper snowflakes, cast strange shadows across her face. Outside the cafe window, shoppers hurry past with bags of presents, their faces alight with anticipation rather than obligation. I pull out my phone and slide it across the table, displaying the confirmation email. "I'm spending Christmas in Key West," I say, with friends who see me as more than what I can provide for them. Mother stares at the screen, her face draining of color as reality sinks in. Her fingers clutch her untouched coffee mug so tightly her knuckles whiten. "You've already booked it?" The question comes out hollow, disbelieving. Jessica and I leave Christmas Eve morning. But what about Adrian's dinner? The genuine confusion in her voice speaks volumes. She truly cannot imagine a world where my brother's needs don't automatically supersede mine. "Adrian has 2 hands that work perfectly well," I reply, "and a kitchen full of appliances with instruction manuals." She looks at me as if I've suggested he perform brain surgery. "He doesn't know how to cook a turkey." "YouTube exists," I say simply. I learned most of my recipes there when no one taught me. The barista calls out another customer's order. Holiday music continues playing. Life goes on around us while my mother processes that her reliable kitchen servant has resigned without notice. When our bill arrives, I take it before she can reach for her purse. "This one's on me," I say, placing my credit card on the small tray, no strings attached. It's a small gesture, but the symbolism isn't lost on either of us. For decades, every gift, every favor from my parents came with invisible strings. Expectations of service, compliance, and gratitude for their conditional love. Mother gathers her photo album, her movements stiff and uncertain. As we stand to leave, I touch her arm gently. "When you're ready to have a daughter instead of a servant, I'll be here," I say. "I've always been here. You just need to see me." She doesn't respond, just nods once before walking out into the December afternoon. I watch through the window as she sits in her car for several minutes, not starting the engine, just staring straight ahead. That evening, Jessica helps me pack for our trip while sharing office gossip to lighten the mood. My phone buzzes with texts from Aunt Rachel, who reports that family channels are buzzing with news of my Christmas betrayal. Apparently, Adrian asked if the turkey comes with instructions written on it. She writes with a laughing emoji. "Your mother told him to order catering, but your father insists on a home-cooked meal." I feel a strange lightness knowing my absence has created such a disruption. Not from spite, but from the realization that my contributions were substantial enough to leave a gap when withdrawn. The family group chat has been noticeably silent. No guilt trips, no angry messages, just the digital equivalent of stunned silence. As Jessica and I toast to our upcoming beach Christmas with glasses of wine, my phone lights up with a text. It's from my father, the first direct message he sent me in years without my mother as intermediary. "We need to talk," it reads. I set the phone down without responding, feeling neither triumph nor regret, just the quiet certainty that whatever happens next, I won't be returning to the kitchen while others enjoy the feast I've prepared. During Christmas time, the Key West sun warms my face as I stretch out on a beach towel beside Jessica. Laughter bubbles from my chest when Theo performs an exaggerated impression of his boss. For once, I'm not bustling around serving others. I'm simply present, soaking in the moment. "Marin, get in this." Jessica waves her phone, framing a photo of our impromptu holiday gathering. I slide between Theo and Jessica, smiling without reservation. The camera clicks, capturing my relaxed posture and genuine smile. 3 days in Key West, and I haven't once apologized for taking up space. "Your pick for dinner tonight," Theo says, passing me the local restaurant guide. The simple act of choosing without calculating everyone else's preferences first still feels revolutionary. "The seafood Pressant Duval," I decide without hesitation. Jessica raises her plastic cup. To Marin, who showed us all how to create holidays worth celebrating. 11 months later, on Thanksgiving Day, the aroma of rosemary and garlic fills my Orlando condo as I slide the turkey back into the oven. The timer reads 40 minutes remaining, plenty of time to join my guests. "Need any help?" Jessica asks from the doorway. "Actually, I'm good." The words come easily now. Theo's handling the potatoes, Rachel brought dessert. Everything's under control. When I enter my living room, Aunt Rachel pats the sofa beside her. "This beats Adrian's stuffy dining room," she whispers, squeezing my hand. My Thanksgiving table looks nothing like my mother's perfectly coordinated settings. Mismatched plates surround a centerpiece of driftwood and shells from Key West. Theo stands at the counter, sleeves rolled up, mashing potatoes, while deep in conversation with Rachel's daughter, Emily. "Wine?" I offer Rachel, pouring myself a glass without waiting for permission. "Your father called me yesterday," Rachel says quietly. "Asked if you were hosting Thanksgiving." The mention of my father doesn't trigger the familiar knot in my stomach. "How are they doing?" "Managing." "Your mother overcooks everything," Rachel smiles. "Adrian burned the stuffing last year." We laugh, and the sound holds no bitterness. When we gather around my table, I take my seat, not rushing to serve or check if anyone needs anything before I begin. We pass dishes family style, each person contributing something to the meal. I taste everything, savoring flavors instead of worrying about others' reactions. Rachel raises a glass. "To traditions that nourish rather than drain us." "To chosen family," Jessica adds. 2 weeks later, my phone lights up with my father's number. I answer with steady hands. "Marin," his voice sounds older. "Your mother and I were wondering if we could visit for Christmas." I stand before the wall where I've hung the photo from our Thanksgiving day. 5 smiling faces, mine centered and glowing. "I'd like that," I say, "but things would be different. We'd cook together, not just me. And I've planned a friends gathering on Christmas Eve that wouldn't change." The silence stretches between us. Then, "I think we can manage that." As I consider my father's request, I wonder if some relationships can be rebuilt on new terms, or if some patterns are too deeply ingrained to change. What would you do? Try to redefine the relationship, or maintain the healthy distance you've created? I hang up the photo, adjusting it until it sits perfectly level. Whatever happens with my parents, I've found my footing. This is my life now, chosen, not assigned.